Okay, good evening, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to the first Rock Against Gun Violence Coalition meeting of 2025. Woo! We made it over, ladies and gentlemen, to a brand new year. And we are saying that this is going to be a wonderful new year and not another year. All right. So we're just speaking those blessings upon you. We pray that all of your families are well. So much is going on in our world today, so soon in our year. So much to be prayerful for and to be thankful for. But we want to say Happy New Year to each and every one of you. And it is customary as we open these meetings that we take time for a moment of silence. We've had some major tragedies across our country concerning gun violence and just tragedies in general. Las Vegas, stuff that's going on at the fires in LA. We know the mass shooting in Queens, and then of course the major tragic triple homicide we had here locally in Brighton and Rochester, and then we had our first homicide of the year, the first day of the new year. So we want to keep each and every one of those families and those impacted, which is all of us, by the senseless violence that's happening in our community and the tragedies that's going on. And we're praying for the fires to cease, the wind to cease in LA. And I asked if you would please, sir, please, ma'am, just join me in a brief moment of also honoring our former president, Jimmy Carter, as well. Thank you. I want to open the floor first and foremost for introductions, and if the agenda is in the chat, I want to thank Dassy, Andre, and all of you, Kathy, who worked so diligently with getting out our minutes for our meeting. Hopefully, all of you are receiving all of the correspondence. We have a heavy agenda for the year, not for necessarily for tonight, but for the year. We have a heavy agenda. We have some very short term, midterm, and long term goals for the year, and we're going to be very aggressive in achieving those goals. But I'm going to ask if this is your first time attending a Rock Against Gun Violence Coalition meeting, if you would please, sir, please, ma'am, would introduce yourself to our wonderful family here, and we greet you. We like to greet you. If this is your first time, please unmute, and we'd like to hear from you. Go ahead, Shannon.
Hi. Sorry, I'm making dinner, so that's why my camera's off. I'm Shannon Riegelsberger. I was born and raised in Fairport, and I live in Rochester now. I am the Equity and Advocacy Coordinator at the Urban League of Rochester, and I am really excited to be here. So thank you for having me.
Thank you for being with us, Shannon. Natalie? I can't really see you on my screen now. Go ahead.
Yes. Hi,
Go ahead.
thank you so much. My name is Natalia Lauer.
Natalia.
Yes, thank you for having me here, and I am the legislative aide for a city council member, Stanley Martin.
Oh, wonderful, Natalia. Welcome. Welcome. Anyone else? First time, looking for first timers. Dr. Shali, I see you got the little baby, the little one with you today. Blessings, hey. All right. So we're going to move right on along because I said I do have a hard stop time tonight, 10 minutes before 7. And so we're going to move right in. I'm going to move around this agenda. So I'm not going to follow it as it's listed. So I'm going to go to our dear day one, Captain Mura, and let him go first. Go ahead, Cap.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, everybody. I just wanted to say hello and Happy New Year to everybody that's here. I'll jump right into it so I'm not taking up too much time. So I have a summary of the homicides and shootings for 2024, and then I have some statistics for December. So homicides year to date, as of this morning on the open data portal, were 47 for 2024. Our 10-year average is 43.2. So we're a little bit above the 10-year average, but as everybody here knows, Just a few years ago, we were almost double this number. So we're trending down on that, thank God. And things are looking better. We just need to keep reducing it as far as we possibly can. So for last year, shootings year to date, we had 164 total shootings with 205 victims. As far as December, for criminal possession of weapons arrests in December, we had 39 CPW arrest arraignments in Monroe County. 6 individuals were held without bail, which is 15%. 20 individuals had cash or bail set. And of those cases, 4 individuals had the cash bail set at $5,000 or less. 11 individuals were released with non-monetary conditions, and 2 of the individuals that were arrested out of the 39, we don't have the data as of yet. There's also some KPI data that I included in the email that I sent just prior to the meeting, so everybody on this call should get that email. Dazzy has it, and so does Councilman Lightfoot. So that's all the information I have right now, but everything is on the email as well, so everybody should be able to take their time and take a good look at it at their leisure.
Does anybody have any questions for Captain Mura? Okay, Kathy, unmute yourself, hon.
One quick question, Captain Mura, on the 39 criminal possession of a weapon linked to Monroe County. Are you aware of how many of those criminal possessions had short time to crime on the guns?
I'm not aware. The ATF would have that information. I do not have it.
Thank you, Captain Mura.
You are welcome.
Captain, I have one question, Reverend Cox here. On those that were processed, how many of them did you say were released on their own recognizance or given an appearance ticket?
11 people were released with non-monetary conditions. So that's 11 folks that were released without bail or anything else, to the best of my knowledge. 11 out of the 39.
And they were caught with an illegal gun?
That is accurate. They were charged with criminal possession of a weapon, which typically is a firearm. Doesn't have to be, but in this case, for this data, it is. And the only other thing that I forgot to mention to the group was that a while ago, I was asked by somebody to get demographics for all of the arrestees to include age, race, sex, and where they live. That information is included in the email. I don't really have the time to break it down for everybody on this call just because of the time restraints, but it is on the email.
Okay, wonderful.
Captain Mura. Hi, this is Commissioner Griffin. I know that we have the RAISE, the RASE. Isn't that something that we can use that shows the demographics and all of that? Are we using that, or is that something that's not being used?
I don't know that anybody in this group is using it. I reached out to the DA's office to get all the demographics, and they supply it to me every month. And it's as I mentioned, it's actually, if you look at the email when you get it, it's an attachment. So it's a PDF file or an Excel spreadsheet, I should say, to the email.
And lastly, my last question would be, what is the age groups? And I don't see the information. I haven't received the attachment yet, but what are the age groups?
The age groups vary, but I can take a quick look at it as long as we're good with that. Give me 1 second. I'm just opening the attachment.
We will make sure while you're doing that, Captain, and to Commissioner Griffin and to others who are in the chat, we will make sure, Dassey will make sure that she sends that information back out to everyone again. Typically, he sends it to Dassey, and then we make sure that everyone gets not only a copy of the minutes and the agenda, but also any data information that comes from Captain Mura and or any other person that may send information to us. Dassey, Andre, Kathy do a wonderful job in making sure that they keep all of our coalition partners updated on any information that we have. I want to make sure that I honor and respect Council Member President Miguel Melendez has just stepped in the room. Councilwoman Stanley Martin is with us as well. I want to acknowledge their presence, our colleagues on council as well as Commissioner Griffin, Vice President of the coalition as well, and all of you who I will be going over the leadership roles in a minute when I get under my chairman's report. Thank you. Captain Murrah, back in your hands, sir. I'm sorry.
All right, so the youngest, I believe, was 16, and the oldest was 68, and the range varied throughout that bracket. So it's all over the place. I won't say the vast majority, but a very good portion of the individuals are in their mid to late teens and throughout their 20s. And then it starts to slow down a little bit. We have a bunch in the 30s, 3 people in their 40s, 3 in their 50s, and one was 68 years old. And that was a male white out of Webster.
Thank you. I guess I would be a little more interested in some other information as well, like the family dynamics, poverty levels, things of that nature, because I think those things would help us as well to navigate these waters. So I'm interested to see if we can get that raised report on that information to help us navigate and help us do things better as far as making difference in lessening more of what more of the guns in the hands of our teenagers, our young ones especially.
I'm going to move this conversation on with Captain Murrah. I have a lot to cover tonight in very short period of time. I apologize for that, but this is our first meeting. Our next meeting, I promise you, will be back on track as far as our time is concerned. I may skip over a few things that are on the agenda and just get to the highlights of prepping everyone of what to expect from the leadership as far as myself and the vision for the year. On how we're moving forward. We completed a lot last year, but we have a lot more that is in store for this year as well. So I'm going to take the opportunity to forego some of the presentations, and I'm going to ask Michael Patterson. I'm going to give him about 10 minutes from CEO of MPP 360 to give us a brief presentation on his work. Is Mike there yet? Is he in the room, Dassey?
I don't see him. I'm looking, but I don't see him.
Okay.
No.
All right. Well, we'll move on. Let's go to the crisis intervention. Ms. Aaliyah Hinton Williams, we'll give you an opportunity for brief comments. Go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. We'll just briefly give you the data for the Crisis Intervention Services Unit services in 2028. I'll provide you with the Community Support Counseling Team data, and then Leslie will follow up with the Person in Crisis PIC Team data. The Community Support Counseling Team served 204 victims in the month of December. 14611 was the highest area served at 22. And we did have 46 individuals that did not disclose their zip code, so those are unknown. Leslie, can you please do the PIC team?
Yes, hello everyone. The month of December, we had 681 calls. Serving the highest was zip code 14621. That's all I have.
Okay, very good. Does anyone have any questions for Ms. Aaliyah or Ms. Leslie?
Commissioner Griffin, I just would like that information. You guys can send that to me just for me to. Is that something that you guys can do?
Well, the PIC data is on the public dashboard, so you can just go to the city's website.
Okay.
And I'll send you something over on the counseling team.
Thank you, guys. I just like to see all that stuff and see how we can benefit from it at the district.
Okay, we're gonna move into President Melendez going to move into our advocacy committee report. Is he still with? Okay, there he is.
Yes, good evening, everyone. Sorry, I'm off camera. I'm eating here, listening in. But our advocacy committee, we have a couple things on the docket for this year. We are looking to, we do have a data committee, which I know Councilmember Lightfoot has been leading that effort. We also have some pending legislation. I know we've talked about procurement, on the procurement process. Dassey's been working on packaging that. We got some example legislation from California that we're looking to see if we can adopt it to suit our needs and suit our charter. And then we have had conversations, Councilmember Lightfoot and I sent a letter to the mayor to request that they continue the relationship with ATF and Brady. The mayor's responded affirmatively in that direction, that he will commit to re-upping the MOU and doing the gun trace data report. So we just need to follow up on the next steps in the process. This was kind of over the holiday season, so we will be doing that. And then I do want to schedule some upcoming advocacy committee meetings. We have not met probably in 3 months or so, maybe a little bit longer. So it's time for us to get back to the table and have that conversation again about where we are. So we'll work with Dassey to make sure that everyone knows when the next meeting is.
Wonderful. Any questions for President Melendez? Is Vic Saunders or anyone from Office of Violence Prevention on the line? I don't want to.
I saw. Oh, yeah, there is. Yes.
Good evening, everyone. Sequay Tooks, Director of Office of Violence Prevention. Tonight, I do not have any data to share out.
That's okay, Vic. Whatever comes to your mind that you briefly want to share with us, if anything, it's okay.
Okay, so, but I do want to note that right now I'm in the process with IT developing a dashboard for OVP in a different program. So that's something I can report out in the future.
Okay, wonderful.
Right now, our programs are, we're all thriving at this point. We're all on a push to make 2025 just greater and bigger and better than what we had last year. Right now, our Advanced Peace program, they're in their third cohort. Right now, they have approximately around 30 individuals, around 30 that they work with in total throughout all the different cohorts that are still with the program. And they're doing some really good work over there. Those guys are putting together, they're working with workforce development and Sean and her crew, and they're working with those guys to put together some sort of a conference for 18 and up individuals who are looking for employment. And that's something that I can report out as well as we get close to those dates and I get more information and that builds itself out. So as of right now, there's a lot of programming right now, Councilman Willie, and that's pretty much what everything looks like. So next time I can actually speak out more of the raw data, but right now we're just really busy putting together a lot of programs. We have a lot of things that are upcoming that are going to be out of the office, and I think the community is going to really enjoy. And I'll let those be known more as we get close to the dates.
Wonderful. Does anybody have any questions for Zeke? Okay, we'll move on. Thank you, Zeke. Appreciate you. We look forward to hearing more in the future about the great work that you guys will be doing in 2025 and supporting that work. Resource Committee. I'm really the Resource Committee one. I want to see how we're doing with that. With the resource guide. Where are we on that, Ms. Aaliyah Hinton?
The resource guide is still in progress. The committee is currently on the call. We have been assigned our specific areas, and we have probably about 8 or 10 different resource areas that we're going to be putting into the guide. We plan on creating a draft over the next couple of months and presenting that to the executive level. And then once we have approval on that level, we'll be able to have that completed. We're looking at by spring at the latest.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. That's pretty much eradication and education. I think we combine them. Does anyone, I think I see Tenios was on the call. Does anybody want to talk about that? And if you don't have anything to share tonight, that's fine. We just don't want to overlook you.
Right. There's no new updates at this time. I did send over the resource guide that I have to the resource team
Yes.
after the last meeting. I did notice that there is going to be a lot of advertising right now for the gun safety courses. So
Okay.
sometimes it's not going to be entirely realistic to say that we're going to eliminate firearms entirely, but to ensure that they are handled safely is also going to be a reasonable goal.
Wonderful. Media committee, I don't think I see anyone here from the media committee. I don't see Vice President Lachey Harris here or her cohort. So we'll move on to my chairman's report. Thank you, Tanios. Appreciate that, sir. There are 7 things that before I even move any further with that, I just want to reiterate. And then that way, if someone hears their name and they're maybe in a capacity that they've been in the past, and they may not, if they don't want to continue in any capacity whatsoever, just feel free to reach out to myself and Dassy, and then we'll reorganize as appropriate. But I want to show you leading to our city website, cityofrochester.gov/think about it. Our Rock Against Gun Violence Coalition website, which we're really doing our best to keep it as updated as we possibly can. It lists as leadership, of course, myself as the founder and chair, Rochester City School Board Commissioner Jacqueline Griffin as the vice chair, Andre Gully, Dassy as the secretary, Kathy, as they're all working that role, Septimus Scott as the treasurer. Our committees as Education Committee, Tanios on Education Advocacy is Council President Miguel Melendez. Eradication is City School Board Commissioner Jacqueline Griffin is chairing that committee. The Media Committee is chaired by Vice President Lachey Harris. Our Resource Committee is chaired by Aaliyah Hinton Williams. And the Youth Committee is chaired by Ruth Reeves. So I wanted to make sure this meeting schedule is also on there, being that our next meeting will be February 10th. We typically meet every second Monday at 6 o'clock, hybrid, typically in person at City Hall and via Zoom. Our meetings are always streamed via the City Council YouTube page for any of our listening viewers to be able to go back and view past meetings and or the work that we're currently working on now. So I wanted to give you the structure of the Rock Against Gun Violence Coalition and going forward, if anyone sees fit that they would like to, not continue in that capacity in 2025, please just let me know, because we do have a very heavy agenda, which I'm going to be expressing to you in just a few minutes. And we want to make sure that we have everybody in place, and committees that may not have been as active and are looking for volunteers, or we're looking to beef up those particular committees to strengthen them in their work. Okay. So I'm going to go over 7 things that I'm looking to put on the goal list of 2025. Our scholarship program, as you know, is currently up and running. We're doing 5 $1,000. This is as a continuation to our first Rock Against Gun Violence Youth in Crisis Conference, which we had back in October. Very successful. Thank you, everybody, for all of your work on that. And as a result of that, one of the things that we promised was that we were going to do 5 $1,000 scholarships. We extended, and I want to say shout out to WDKX for helping us to get the word out to our community. They've been a starch partner with the Rock Against Gun Violence Coalition, and all of you who have been sharing the flyers with the QR code on it. We still need you to keep pushing. We've extended the deadline for submissions of filling out the application and submission of their project to February 10th, I believe. And we want all of you to please help us to meet the deadline. We do have about 5 or 6 people who have filled out the application and a few who have submitted, but we're looking for more. We'd like to have a nice group to choose from. So that's still live, the Rock Against Gun Violence Coalition scholarships, okay? And all that information is on the website, or we can resend that out to you if you need so. The Brady Trace Report, that's something we like to have done before summertime. We have a commitment from this administration. We want to shout out to Mayor Evans and this administration, to Police Chief Smith, to Agent Curran, who would have been here, but he's excused. He did excuse himself for tonight, for their partnership, and Brady and Kathy, and for being an advocate, for helping us to do the first one and moving us towards a second gun trace data report, which is another historic milestone for the city of Rochester, being one of only 5 cities that has one. And so we're looking to that's a goal for ours for this year. The resource guide is something we just heard from Aaliyah Hinton Williams on where they are with that. We're looking to deliver that by summertime as well. All of these things were in our Rock Against Gun Violence Solution Action Plan. So we want to be very intentional the fact that that plan did not sit on someone's desk, that plan is actually has been implemented ever since we introduced it to this community. And it was a community plan driven by the community. Our youth conference, number 2, yay! We're looking to have a second youth conference this year. So we're going to be moving immediately with our youth committee to work on doing that. And just for your information, as I back up, the scholarships, we're looking to give those out during Black History Month at the City Council meeting in February. So that is the goal for that. Of course, the procurement policy is something that Council President Melendez expressed that we're working on. That will be an actual piece of legislation that came out of the Rock Against Gun Violence Solution Action Plan. We look to complete that before year end. The Data Gap Project, that's just what I'm calling it right now, the Data Gap Project, but it's our subcommittee of our data group. And I'm telling you, this group is amazing. And we're going to have an amazing product at the end of this, which probably will be in a report form, is what it sounds like, the direction we're moving in. And so I thank Kathy and everyone who's been on those calls working on that data. We're looking to summarize kind of what we're doing. Out of this meeting, we found that there's a lot of information and data that we even heard Commissioner Griffin asking for certain things, and different ones always ask for different things. So we're looking at how can we fill in those gaps of areas where we're not actually, and then by filling in those gaps and then be able to report that back out to the community in a way that's useful for all parties involved and anyone's working in the space of eradicating gun violence and the impacts of gun violence that it has across the spectrum of our community, including public health. So that's what that's all about in a nutshell. But I'm calling it the Data Gap Project. And then community education is the 7th and last one. How do we do a consistent community driven, like we did last year? We did our the Shot from a Gun Can't Be Undone. We got to look at could that look like this year? Do we continue that same element or do we bring in new elements to it? But I feel that we should have a constant messaging against violence in our community, and it should be coming from this coalition in this city. And I want to be diligent about what does that look like? Not only just billboards and PSAs on radios and TV, but I want to see what does that look like as far as working within our centers and how do we embed this education around the impacts of violence and alternatives to violence and things of that nature within our current resources that we have. And I always think of the R centers because they're just the resources that are like right there in that they touch our families. In our libraries and et cetera. And the city obviously has control over those entities. And so there is an easy work or lift, it should be, in working in those spaces. And so those are the 7, the scholarship, the Brady Trace report, the resource guide, the youth conference, procurement policy, Data Gap Project, eventually coming out with some type of report or reports, community education initiative, and the marketing piece of what does that look like. Those are the 7 things that are the goals for 2025 for the Rock Against Gun Violence Coalition. And I want us all collectively working on all 7. And I think, to be honest with you, that is a tremendous, it would be a tremendous feat to see us complete all of that list. Would be actually incredible. And I think it's doable. I don't think any of what I'm saying is far-fetched. I think we can do all of it. And it would be an amazing way to go. So that's kind of where I'm at. Does anyone have any questions for me? If not, I'm going to open up the floor to my colleagues, Councilman Stanley Martin or to President Melendez to have what I would consider final words. And then we'll go from there. But does anyone have any questions for me?
Hey, Willie, this is Lewis. I think what we did last year with our message in the billboards did a great job because it's been a consistent message. And I think we just got to keep it the same so people kind of remember it. Just my thought. I thought that the billboards and everything worked out amazing.
Duly noted. I didn't quite like the locations. I wish we had, and I think because we got to them so late, I'd like to see us get to them earlier, Louis, and have better locations actually in places that are most impacted from the data in our community. But I agree that shot from a gun can't be undone is a powerful tool.
I agree.
Anyone else? Karen, go ahead, Karen. I see your hand.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, I can.
So with the PSAs and the visuals, where was those located? Because honestly, I will say I did not see any other than the ones that were in the chambers. So I didn't see them in the community where I go, and I'm very in the community.
Yeah.
And I know you said our centers and libraries, but what about barbershops or homeless shelters and other places where we might be missing the core people that need this information, that are being disenfranchised more than other people? Are they in schools? Are there other places that we're missing? Because I know I didn't see them anywhere, and I'm very out there. So what other avenues are we going to do to present this in other areas that we did not do previously?
So I'm going to say, Karen, all of the above. And I'm going to say that could be something that you could help us to do. Okay. All right. We need you. We need you in that area. We need that. We need your help in that area. Okay. And so I want them everywhere you said, I want them there. I want them there. That's just yes. And 2 thumbs up. And would you be willing to help us to do that?
Absolutely.
Okay, that's wonderful. Stanley, I'm going to let you have the last word, sis.
Yes, this is my first time attending, and I've been following, looking at all the great work you all have been doing. I'm just really grateful to you, Councilmember Lightfoot, for leading this for so many years. All the information shared, everyone showing up. Utilize me however you need, however you want, but thank you all for being here and just fighting against gun violence in our community for so many years. It's going to be a big year, and I'm excited to work with all of you.
Well, thank you. Well said. I'm going to ask Reverend Cox if he would pray us on out, brother. And the only reason the meeting is abbreviated today, ladies and gentlemen, is because of an appointment that I at 7 o'clock here at my church that I was unable to change. I promise you, but I think we covered a lot. I did not want to cancel the meeting. I wanted to have it. I thought it was important that we start off the year moving collectively together and you seeing my vision, the 7-point vision that I have going forward. I thought that was very important, and where we are with the committees in achieving that. We're very close in all of our areas, as you can see. So kudos to everyone for last year, and the best is yet to come. We're committed to this work. We ain't going nowhere as it regards to this work. We're committed to this work. I'm gonna be doing this till there's no breath in my body. So, it may be from a different hat, but I'll be still working in this space all the time, okay? So Reverend Cox, my brother.
Thank you. God, we thank you right now for what you're doing. We thank you, oh God, for this move. We thank you, oh God, for even allowing us, oh God, to be present in the city of Rochester. We ask now, oh God, that you touch those families whose lives have been affected through gun violence. We ask, oh God, that you be with them, oh Lord. And we ask, oh God, that you touch the hearts and minds of the young men and women in this city, oh God, that they, oh Heavenly Father, might be able to lead, oh God, in the right path, oh God, and find a productive way to go, and that we might be the conduit to show them, oh Lord. And I pray for each and every one, oh God, that is under the sound of my voice, oh Lord, in their household. And I pray, oh God, that you allow this endeavor, oh God, to continue, that we might push, oh God, forward to have a safer community and a better way of life. In the name of Jesus, we do pray. Hallelujah and amen.
Peace and blessings to you all. We'll be in contact via email, and you see that the next meeting is the second Monday of February. May God bless you. May God keep you is our prayer. Blessings, everyone.